All right, back here on Sid and Friends in the Morning. You guys know over the last couple of years, thanks to my friend Jack Manzo, that I forged a friendship. You know, we're not best friends. We don't go to Giant games together, Springsteen concerts together. We don't go to the River Palm and Edgewater. We don't do that. But over the years, I've developed a pretty good friendship with Jack Ciattarelli. In fact, he ran for governor in New Jersey a couple of years ago and came very, very close to beating Phil Murphy. And a lot of folks in New Jersey give me the credit because I kind of put Ciattarelli on the scene that he almost won, including my next guest, who's a big radio and TV star from the state of New Jersey. He's on 101.5. He's also running for governor, like Ciattarelli, coming up next year, and it's Bill Spadea. Bill, nice to talk to you, buddy. You did tell me off the air in a conversation a week or two ago that you really believed that me putting Ciattarelli on this show a bunch a couple of years ago gave him a real good opportunity to win that gubernatorial race. You did say that, yes?
Well, yes. So, Sid, first of all, thanks for having me on. Always great to talk to you. Here's the bottom line. Jack Ciattarelli squandered all the help that you gave him. Here's a guy that had an opportunity to win a race, a very winnable race in New Jersey. You put an unknown guy who was a 35-year politician on the map, and what happened? He decided to take advantage of what he thought, well, I don't know what he was thinking, a smart strategy or not, but he started attacking President Trump. This guy goes back 8 years, called Donald Trump a charlatan, started attacking him in the last few weeks leading up to the election. So what happened? All the goodwill, all the positives that you and your audience brought was squandered because hundreds of thousands of Trump voters saw the real Jack Ciattarelli and they stayed home. And, you know, Sid, if you look at the difference in Virginia and New Jersey, two states that have off-year gubernatorial elections, in Virginia, they put in a Republican, Glenn Youngkin. In New Jersey, Phil Murphy gets reelected. You know what the difference was, Sid? In Virginia, 6 out of 10 voters turned out to vote. In New Jersey, 6 in 10 stayed home. And in a race that came down to about 90,000 votes, it was the Trump voters who stayed home because they couldn't tolerate a never-Trumper.
Well, look, I like Jack. Again, I like him. I like you, too. I mean, you're both good guys. But my audience knows this, Bill, and that is I'm a Trump guy through and through. If you're not with Trump, you're not with me. So literally a couple of months ago, I reached out to Jack Manzo, and I said, hey, I'm hearing some stuff about Ciattarelli. And then Manzo came back to me and said, no, it's not true. Ciattarelli and Trump are all good. And then a couple of weeks ago, there was a fundraiser at a house that I was at, ironically, with Lee Zeldin and Donald Trump about 2 years ago in Deal, New Jersey. Turns out Ciattarelli was there with Trump. But it also turns out that you and your wife were there with Trump, and according to you, you guys were the ones who got the picture. So tell me, who am I to believe about this Ciattarelli-Trump relationship, you or Jack Manzo?
I'll tell you this, Sid, that I've had the honor of having President Trump on my radio show a couple of times, and the last time I had him on, it was ahead of the Wildwood rally, and I feel like let the president speak in his own words. He invited my wife, Jody, and I backstage to talk to him at the Wildwood rally. He said on the air, Bill, I know you've been with me since the beginning. So Donald Trump knows the truth, and the reality is that I've been with Trump since he came down the escalator. Jack Ciattarelli called him a charlatan. Jack Ciattarelli said that he ought to be replaced by Paul Ryan or Mike Pence. I've got to tell you, as a matter of fact, Ciattarelli said in a TV interview that he would not vote for Donald Trump and did not vote in the 2016 presidential
Well, let me stop you for a
So-
second. Let me just defend Ciattarelli because you know how close I am with Trump these days. He knows I voted against him. I voted for Hillary in 2016, not because I liked Hillary. In fact, I couldn't stand Barack Obama. I knew she was an extension of him. But as much as I loved Trump, I had no clue he would be as good as he turned out to be, and the country was in trouble. So I voted against him. You look at a guy like his VP right now, J.D. Vance. J.D. J.D. Vance compared Trump to Hitler. So we've seen people say nasty things about Trump in the past, not vote for Trump in the past, me and J.D. Vance, and he loves both of us right now. So that's not necessarily an indication that Trump and Ciattarelli don't get along.
Well, I don't know if Trump and Ciattarelli get along. That's, as far as I can again only take the president at his words. He, on my show, pointed out that Jack Ciattarelli, he said, I think that guy thinks he's hot stuff, and did not ask for President Trump's support in 2021. The president actually said if he had, things may have turned out differently. But Sid, let me point out, the difference is you're a thoughtful man, you're a patriot, you're a guy that believes in ideas and the greatness of America. So does J.D. Vance. Both of you have had a transformation to see the light and see the positives that President Trump has brought to this great country and the fact that we now need him to return to the White House. The difference is my opponent is being an opportunist. You don't go from being a never-Trumper up to the point of not supporting him. Remember something. My opponent, Jack Ciattarelli, wrote checks to Governor Chris Christie in the primary of this 2024 race. So he did not become a Trump guy until he decided that, wait a minute, Trump's the last guy standing. And it wasn't until Trump was the only candidate in the race that Jack Ciattarelli said, okay, we got to vote for Trump because he's not Biden. So, Sid, you went through a transformation. J.D. Vance went through this enlightenment and transformation. Jack Ciattarelli is an opportunist who is going to say anything to anyone just to get a vote. And I'll tell you something, after a 35-year career and losing the race for governor twice, New Jerseyans, especially Republicans, are ready for change. And we're going to beat him in June, and I'm going to go on to win in November. And the reason, Sid, is I'm the only candidate in New Jersey who can both pull Democrats who are disaffected and unhappy with the radicalism and extremism in their party, and at the same time mobilize the Trump base, because I am a bona fide Donald Trump supporter, and you can hear it from the president himself. And he has never said anything even close about my opponent.
This is Bill Spadea. You know Bill from 101.5 in New Jersey, running for governor. Again, the primary coming up in January of 2025. The election in November of 2025. How many right now are there of you guys? 3 or 4 on the Republican side?
Yeah, the 3 credible candidates, myself, Jack Ciattarelli, and John Bramnick. And, Bramnick, to his credit, he's a state senator out of Westfield.
He sucks.
Never Trumper from
He sucks.
You had him on the show, didn't you?
Yeah, I couldn't stand him. He was on for 2 minutes. I couldn't wait to hang up on that bastard.
He hates him. Look, the bottom line, Sid, you know this. It is about common sense policies. It's about practical policies. It's about infrastructure and energy and safe streets. And the number one issue right now, illegal immigration. We got open borders. And from my Republican opponents to my potential Democratic opponents after we win this primary, none of them have taken a stand aggressively on closing the border. None of them have taken a stand against the sanctuary state. Ciattarelli and Bramnick both supported Phil Murphy's lockdowns during COVID. I've been the only voice of consistency, conservatism, patriotism, and common sense policies to bring New Jersey back. We're going to turn New Jersey red, and we're going to do it the right way by bringing Democrats and independents across that divide.
I've lived in New York and Florida my whole life, Bill, and I love living in Florida, but I really loved living in New Jersey. Lived all over New York City, from Chelsea to Fidei, Upper West Side, lived everywhere. Now I live, of course, on the water in Bell Harbor in Queens. It's gorgeous. But my favorite resident here in the New York, New Jersey area was in 2004 when my wife and I, Danielle, bought this beautiful house on Elm and Serpentine in Tenafly, New Jersey, right there by the GW Bridge in gorgeous Bergen County.
Beautiful.
I loved it there. And I lost my job, had to move to Florida. I lost the house. But I loved it there. And talking to people who live there now, I still have friends. In fact, my 8x10 was up at the Tenafly Diner with Siggy Flicker till about 2 years ago. What they complain about, above and beyond what you're talking about, crime, which is everywhere, is taxes. Taxes seem to be a major issue in New Jersey. Is that right?
Well, they are, but it's all related. New Jerseyans don't mind paying taxes if you're going to get something for it. The challenge in New Jersey is that the budget is up from the last year of Chris Christie, $35 billion. We're now up to $55 billion, yet our roads and bridges are falling apart. We've got 2,500 of our 7,600 bridges that are in need of some kind of repair. 441 of them are considered structurally deficient. You got New Jersey Transit that cannot get out of their own way, can't stay on time. You got schools that are teaching DEI and all kinds of gender transition studies. I mean, it's gotten out of control, Sid. So it's one thing to say, look, I'm paying taxes. They pick up my trash. I've got great schools. I've got safe streets. It's another thing to say, wait a minute, auto thefts are up 22%. I'm afraid to walk at night in some of our towns, and I got to make sure that, my cars are locked in my garage because we got thugs running around stealing cars, breaking into the kitchen to steal the key fob. So taxes are absolutely paramount, but there's so much more that goes with it. So the way I see it is very simple. You want a return on your investment. Number one, we got to lower taxes. But you do that, Sid? You go after school funding. 69 cents of every dollar of $33 billion collected in real estate taxes goes out to education. And the problem is the NJEA runs the show. So you got billions and billions of dollars going toward a pension, yet our teachers haven't had a cost of living adjustment in years. Our teachers are pulling $75 out of their pocket every couple of weeks to buy school supplies. So who is it? The elites and the bureaucrats are getting the billions while the teachers and the cops and the firefighters get burned. We're going to turn that around. We can lower taxes and restore cost of living adjustments to our first responders. It can all get done. It's about priority spending and lowering the waste. We're going to cut $1 billion out of the Rutgers budget. God knows why we're making millionaires out of these radical professors, including the one they refused to fire, who called for she literally said after the attempted assassination on President Trump that she hoped that would inspire others. Yeah. She kept her job. Yep. Taxpayers are paying for it.
They also, Rutgers also, don't forget, started a program to bring Palestinians to New Jersey to go to school and pay for them, which is ridiculous. So on the way out here, final 60 seconds, Bill Spadea, my wife and I started a charity a couple of years ago. My son Gabriel was diagnosed as a little boy with dyspraxia. My listeners know what that is. It doesn't matter. We've been trying to get this charity more exposure and trying to make people more aware of this disability. So I got two guys, Mike Lawler, Republican out of Rockland County, and Josh Gottheimer.
Mike.
Mike's a great guy. And Gottheimer, who's a Democrat, but Gottheimer's actually, pro-Israel, good guy, and he helped me and my wife out. So we got a bipartisan bill, and now it turns out, I read today, that Josh Gottheimer, assuming you win the primary, Josh Gottheimer is seriously considering running for governor in New Jersey on the Democrat ticket. How does that change things?
Well, it doesn't for me. I mean, any of the Democrats would be a welcome opponent. They're all going to have to defend their near 100% support of the last 4 years of Joe Biden. So, Josh Gottheimer can talk about being a moderate all he wants. I've talked to Josh. He's certainly a nice guy, but nice guys, that's not the criteria to turn the state around. It's nice to have a nice guy, but you got to have somebody that understands fundamentally what we need to do to fix New Jersey, lower taxes, lower the budget, invest in our energy and transportation infrastructure, and restore integrity on our education, get back parental rights. Remember, Josh is a guy that sided with Murphy again on the lockdowns, sided with Murphy against the protecting parental rights. So I would welcome him. I'm glad he's helping you, though. I'll tell you this, Sid. I think people want less vitriol and more coming together on common ground and common causes. And I think that when you're talking about a charity, especially if it impacts your own family, then I'll say good on him. And you can count on me to support whatever you need as far as promoting the week. And I'll be happy to do that on 101.5, largest station in New Jersey.
Bill, you're a terrific guy. I wish you the best of luck. I've enjoyed our conversations on the air today, off the air last week. And as we move forward, Ciattarelli will be back, I'm sure, to talk about what you talked about today. But you've always got a spot right here. Good luck. We'll talk again very soon. Great job, Bill.
Thanks, Sid. Talk soon.
Take care. That's Bill Spadea, folks, 101.5 out in New Jersey, has a big-time show. He is running for governor on the Republican side. Again, that primary comes your way June of 2025. The election, of course, November of 2025. We'll take a short break. More of Sid and Friends in the morning on this Tuesday, right after these words.